Good afternoon. I'm Patty Brennan. I'm here by video in a 21st century speech to give you thanks for the award that the Nursing Informatics Research Section from the Midwest Nursing Research Society has bestowed on me. I'm very grateful for the award and I accept it in the name of the patients, family caregivers, and individuals that have allowed us into their lives to understand what it's like to live with health concerns, and healthcare problems, and to attempt to design technologies to help them cope with this. I acknowledge in the receiving of this award the contributions of the students that I've worked with over the last 25 years, my colleagues and my mentors and my friends, my colleagues who've helped me, challenged me, stimulated my thinking, my mentors who've guided me and redirected me when needed, and my friends who've lived through the many, many discussions I've had trying to excite them to the issues of nursing informatics and research and received their knowing smiles that they're glad I was happy with whatever it was that I did. I've been asked to talk a little bit about what I do. I promise to be brief and tell you that I've had a wonderful 25-year career, thanks in many parts to your tax dollars, which provided lots of the funding that supports the work we do. There's 4 projects that I'm pretty proud of. The first project was the computer link. Some of you may remember working on this project when you were students. Shirley Moore, I'm sure, remembers a lot about this project. The Computer Link project was an initiative that used the old WISE 30 terminals and 110 baud modems, but let us go into the homes and the kitchens and the bedrooms of people living with AIDS and the caregivers of persons with Alzheimer's disease in the pre-web 1989 world. We found out a lot that people would actually use technology, and some of them even got better having used the technology. The mid-90s got us to the heart care projects that spanned a 10-year period of my career. Heart Care 1 examined the needs of persons who were recovering from cardiac disease, and Heart Care 2 looked at patients with complex congestive heart failure. We learned through these projects how to better use technologies in the home, and frankly, how to not use certain ones like web TVs. We also learned quite a bit about integrating our information into the computer systems of clinical care facilities and are grateful for the IT staff who worked along with us as we did that. About 5 years ago, we began Project Health Design. Project Health Design pushes the boundaries of what is considered personal health records, trying to make sure that we make them platforms for actions and not simply repositories for data. Project Health Design began with trying to understand how individuals manage their health in every day and pushed design thinking about what devices might be useful for them. We learned over time, though, that better understanding of health in everyday living, that we now define as observations in everyday living or ODLs, might be the key to understanding a complementary but very important part of a patient's health and well-being. We now look forward to information technologies that not only capture vital signs like blood pressure or blood glucose readings, but also experiences like the adequacy of sleep or the tenor of the family conversation at dinner as a way of getting an insight into the care and the health and the lives of individuals with complex health problems. Our latest initiative is called the Learning Environments Laboratory. Even as we speak, we're in the process of building a virtual reality environment on the campus of the University of Wisconsin at Madison. What we'll use this environment for is to recreate household images, household environments in 3D, fully instrumented, to get design inspirations and to understand better how individuals live in their lives, and maybe to think about the technologies that would be purpose-built, designed for households, and not retrofitted from office technologies into the home. I can't leave you without a little bit of instructional material, so I'm going to take the last couple of minutes to reflect with you on the similarities of the trajectory and knowledge building between nursing as a discipline and nursing informatics as a sub-discipline. Research in nursing began, some say, in the mid-40s, when systematic study of nurses began. Some work on demographics, who they were, what they actually did with their lives. That work proceeded to then begin to look at the work of nurses, how they carried out their working days, how they organized themselves, primary nursing or team nursing. The 70s brought an influx of theories about nursing, the phenomenon that we're concerned about, and the way nurses conduct interventions. Lots of interventional work happened during the 70s and 80s, and as we moved into the 90s, we saw that research trajectories in nursing changed from the focus on what nurses did to the phenomenon of concerns that patients experienced. And we saw a greater attention to phenomena like stress, management of pain, and coping with chronic disease. Now, as we move into the translational healthcare research agenda, nursing again participates, trying to integrate these different aspects of our history, from who nurses are, to what they do, to what they're concerned about, to finally what their patients need. Now, if you think about the trajectory of nursing informatics research, we have somewhat of a shorter history. But we began, some say in the late 60s, early 70s, to study what nurses who worked with computers did. What were they like? How were they trained? We focused on their demographics. In the late 80s, we began to study a lot more about how nurses in informatics did their work. What kind of implementation systems, practices did they use? What kind of work activities were they involved in? We also saw at this time an intersection between nursing informatics research and the work of nursing itself and the focus on the phenomenon of nursing. Languages, formalization, representation tools for nursing emerged during the late 80s and early 90s. Nursing informatics research continued to mature in the late 90s with work like my own, where we focused on how we could use these technologies to reach into the everyday lives of patients and provide them with an extension of nursing care through the use of technology. Now, in the 21st century, nursing informatics research continues to mature. We bring more sophistication to our question. We understand better the phenomenon of our patients and the diversity of our patients. Importantly, we are now focusing our informatics technologies on the better understanding of the needs of the individuals that we work with and the better use of information technology to support them. I leave you with thanks and a charge. Go forward in your work to create the kinds of nursing informatics knowledge that's needed for the future generations. Enjoy your work, enjoy your students, and enjoy your friends. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I can't be there with you. I hope you have a great meeting.